Hey everybody, welcome back to Redneckistan. So I did a bunch of stuff and my cameras or my phone's been a jerk and keeps saying I have no storage, so I deleted everything on my phone and shows us I still don't have storage. So I guess I'm gonna be forced now to have to use a computer or whatever, but I did a lot of things. Like a lot has happened. The dust collecting drum has been installed. That's cool. The performance has dropped, but the pain in the ass level is dropped as well. So take it for what it is. I do want to get rid of that bag. Just put a plastic bucket underneath there because I have been cutting a metric boatload of wood, and that's all a ton of wood. But I'm pretty certain it's because the drum is now full. Because that thing literally only had like a cup of dust in it. So yeah, anyway, one of the challenges I have is I have shitty constructor grade, like contractor tools. You know, I don't have the fancy table saws and things. So sure, if anybody's into woodworking, they know that, you know, sleds are the thing. So yeah, I like to make sleds and jigs. Especially I like making beekeeping equipment. So like you're basically doing the same cut. Everything's the same in a beehive, you know? It's a 16 and a quarter by 20, you know? So you're just making boxes. That's all you're doing. So I basically made jigs for doing box joints. Very similar sizes. I got 11/16 for doing like smaller things because, well, actually, that was what Bob Ross would call like a happy accident or something. It's meant to be 3/4, but the wood was meant to be 3/4. Turns out it ended up being 11/16 once I sanded the crap off it. But yeah, that's my 3/4 for doing most of my stuff. You can't see, but I just got done building these things. Those are top feeders. They're up for sale on the Facebook Marketplace for anybody in the upstate South Carolina region. Photos included. I'm not pulling all this stuff off so everybody can see. So right now what I'm working on is another jig. Because, you know, I'm getting jiggy with it today. I want this one to be for doing like multiple different size box joints for now. I do have a dove joint thing and a router. I just lack ambition and the proper bits because you got to have the bearings on them, and mine don't have the bearings. Sorry about that light back there. It looks terrible. But so yeah, what I want to do is make one where I can do like 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. So I want to be able, so like the big thing is like the faceplate, where if you look on this one here, on the faceplate, I have a little nub sticking off there. So that way when I cut the groove, let me grab one. So like, this is one of the sides of one of my feeders. So like when I cut my groove, you cut it, and then you can move it over to the notch, cut the next one, etc., etc. This will work for any width. Well, I mean, I got a little stopper, but yeah, it's simple, easy, works great. You get repeatable results unless you have that crappy cable saw. So one of the issues with that saw, and I think a lot of these saws in that category of junk, you have a dado blade on there especially. The weight of it causes the saw blade to drop, and you actually see the wheel spinning as we're going. So, you know, in typical redneck fashion, I just stuck some chunks of wood up there and just screwed them in and little duct tape, you know, and kept it from moving. But I couldn't figure out why my joints kept, the first one would be great. And then after that, it would just get steady way worse. And I ended up having to recut them like 4 times before it finally dawned on me that the saw blade was dropping. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm gonna admit that right off the bat. But so anyway, what I'm doing right now is I wanna make kind of more of a multi-purpose jig. For not so much for the things that like I do a lot of. Like the ones that I do a lot of, I want to be a good sturdy single-use jig, you know. But for like the other stuff, like quarter, half inch, 3/8, whatever. So it's the same principle as this one. If you look, it's exactly the same thing. You know, that little thing you do, and I'll have the little finger sticking out so you can slide it over. But to make it multi-purpose, what I'm doing is I am making different faces for it. So like I can have a 1/2 inch face with a 1/2 inch finger sticking out of it, a 1/4 inch, 3/8, whatever, you know, whatever I need. So I just want to make it so it's a little bit more universal. I did the same thing too with my table saw, or sorry, my circular saw jig. So if anybody has ever, YouTubing's hard. If anybody's ever tried to cut a piece of plywood with a circular saw by themselves with no help, it's not easy. Especially like, you know, like you just can't reach that far. So what I made here is this is my circular saw jig. Now this piece here, that's just a 1-inch spacer. So that is not actually part of it. Well, I mean, it is part of it now, but it comes right off. But like, so like boards that I rip down to certain sizes a lot, like 16 and a quarter and 20 are very common for me. So what I did was I have this block here. It's removable. So I can like so if I want to cut some 16 and a quarter, I just throw that little mammer jammer in there, put my saw here, stick a screw down through the, there's a little screw hole on the saw, and if yours doesn't have it, turns out there's a drill, and you can just shove that down through there and then make one. Easy peasy. So I want to do a 20 inch. Now I did add an 1/8 of an inch, just because, you know, you always get that chipping and stuff at the end with the saw, with the circular saw, and just imperfections, because it's not gonna be perfect. So I give myself that extra 1/8 of an inch, just so I can clean them up on the table saw, make it look better, you know. So today's just all about the jigs. I am so jiggy with it. Will Smith would be jealous, I'm telling you. But yeah, I think my little multi-purpose one, because I wanted to make a little something for somebody, and I was like, man, I need a jig for that. But I was like, there's something else I wanted to do. I'm like, oh, that's a different size. I need a different jig. So that's why I'm making this multi-purpose jig, so I can have a like 1/4 inch, or 1/2 inch, maybe a 3/8 or something. I don't know. Whatever router bits and that I got. But the nice thing is I can just make another one for whatever I put on there, you know? It's easy peasy, fresh and breezy. Also, I learned an important life lesson. This one here was, I spent so many hours cutting all these woods and stuff. The pile used to be a lot bigger of cut wood, but it turned out, these lights are the worst. I need to learn how to do stuff. It turns out that my tape measure is off, like by 1/8 of an inch. Not all the time, but most of the time. And take a shot in the dark. I don't know where I got. I usually have Milwaukee's. Like that's the only tape measures I buy is Milwaukee's or Stanley's. This thing. I've been using this thing, the old Hobo Freight one, which I will never buy, I think all summer. And now I'm wondering, now it's starting to make sense why everything is crooked around here. So, I have a feeling that perhaps somebody switched my Milwaukee out with a brewer, AKA, oh, it's heavy duty guaranteed, just not guaranteed to give you the right measurements. So anyway, all that stuff that I cut was bad. I literally had to redo everything. And I lost a lot in scrap, which we will call, I think Bob Ross called them like happy mistakes or some crap like that. I mean, I want to call them bonfire, but whatever. Tell you, we're going to have one hell of a fire here in Redneckistan tonight. Or not tonight. Well, whenever the wind changes direction, because, you know, I don't want to piss off the neighbors. But yeah, that's what we're doing. We're getting jiggy with it. So I don't know if this is going to be the end of the video or if I'm going to get off my ass and actually learn how to edit. But I hope everybody has a great, great day. And maybe you got something from this. Maybe an idea, you know? Something to get the old brain box doing something different, you know? But yeah. Cool. Y'all take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.